We wanted to take a minute to thank our friends at thebikerlawyers.com. If you're ever in an accident in Iowa or Minnesota, make sure to call and ride the recovery road with the Biker Lawyers. Hi guys, I'm Meg, and this is my motorcycle journey. It's a motovlog that follows me on two wheels. Cameraman comes along with me. Sometimes we bring some of our other friends. This isn't my usual voice, guys. I lost my voice this week. But if you haven't already, it would mean so much to Michael and I if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can continue to follow us on all of our two-wheeled adventures. All right, guys. So if you guys have been watching, first of all, I'm sorry. I had a busy work week lawyering and I lost my voice. But if you guys have been watching, you know that Harley so generously loaned me the 2023 Nightster Special for a longer test ride. And we've had it featured in a couple videos, so we have just a little bit more time with it, which it's been really cool. For everybody that's asked, no, I did not get rid of my Lowrider S. I still have my Lowrider S. It's still my baby. But any chance I get to ride a different motorcycle and try it out, I'm going to take it.
Who wouldn't?
But in particular, I've had a lot of fun with this bike. So I reviewed it last year at a demo day. I rode a 2022 Nightster, not the Nightster Special, and had so much fun on it. So we thought we would tell you, if you're considering buying this bike, 5 things that you really need to know. So, number 1, it is a great bike for anybody that is like a petite woman, or it's your first motorcycle. I think it's a perfect starter bike. It is so much easier. This is one thing that's really nice. So, for those of you that have not been watching for a long time, you don't know, I am 5'2" and about 115 pounds. So it is an effort for me to taxi and park some bigger bikes. As you can see, I'm not in proper riding footwear.
No, you're not.
But I can almost flat foot in this. But on my bike, I would be a lot further from the ground than I am right here. So it's pretty low down. It's also light. I get in a situation sometimes on my bike, definitely if I was on Mike's bike, and 100% if I was on a touring bike, where I would have a lot of trouble if the bike was at an incline. I would have no chance of backing a bike out. But this one, I mean, this doesn't count because I'm on a decline, but this one I can move and taxi really easily. I can move it on the bike, I can move it next to the bike, you know.
It doesn't feel heavy.
Correct. So if this was my first motorcycle, it would really help me because I wouldn't be intimidated by it.
Right.
Nice. So anyway, that is one really great thing. That's the first thing you need to know. Number 2 is the brakes are awesome.
Oh yeah.
So it's been an issue on my lowrider. If you guys have ever ridden a lowrider, you probably know because it's a common issue. The front brake is perfect. Rear brake, not so great.
Much.
So I've had to actually do some adjustments, and I know a lot of people online have said the same thing, that they had to do some adjustments to make the rear brake more effective on the lowrider S. Not a problem on this. Front brake and rear brake, great. Stops on a dime, so I feel really safe. So that's something that is noticeable about this bike that I really like. So that's number 2. right, number 3. The engine is just really fun, guys. The motor's just really fun. It's very different. It sounds different. I'll turn it on for you guys. It sounds very different than our Softails. The sound is not my favorite, but the actual functionality of the motor's awesome. But hold on, I'll turn it on for you. I also like that it's easy for me to balance on one leg and use the rear brake. Anyway, so the power band in this is way different than our Softails, and almost like feels like a sport bike. So it doesn't really feel like you're in the sweet spot of this bike until you're over 5,000 RPMs.
Well into it.
Yeah. So I mean, but it really takes off
when it hits it. You know, you hit it, right?
And that's fun because it's just fast. It's quick. So even if you're not a fan of liquid-cooled motorcycles, I do think that that's really fun. It's nimble. It moves. I will say liquid-cooled does get a little hotter on my leg than
when you're in traffic.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's just a fun bike because it really takes off. And so if you like speed, and honestly, like if you're in a motorcycle, you probably like to go fast.
Right.
It's fun. So that was 3 things. It is very nimble and movable, so I really like that. It's easy for me to maneuver in tight spots, like through traffic. It handles, tight twisties really well. It's easy to steer. So I guess the maneuverability, is that how you say it?
Yeah, sure.
Maneuverability. I would say that's excellent on this bike, so that's 4 things. And the 5th thing is actually, guys, surprisingly, because I know it's a sporty and I would not have thought so, the passenger seat is like not bad. Like it's like pretty comfy. And we have some 2-up footage because we did ride it. How do you feel like, as the rider, it handled 2-up?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you were back there.
So it, you felt like you had enough power.
Like I said, I don't want to say how fast we were going because we're getting in trouble, but it ran with you on the back with no issues.
Yeah. So I would say number 5, if you are inclined to get the Nightster Special, because the Nightster does not come with the passenger seat and passenger pegs, but the Nightster Special does. But also, Harley put these bags on for me, so thank you so much.
They were awesome.
So helpful, and I actually have loved these bags. So
something else that I thought was gnarly was the cruise control on a Sportster was something I guess I'm just oblivious to that, but
I mean, my Sporty had that little throttle lock.
That wasn't cruise control.
I know.
That's different. And the modes on it.
This has a lot of cool modes. So it has a sport mode, and that really takes off.
And I'd use the rain mode, which did great in the rain.
I agree. It handles pretty well in the rain.
Yeah.
So those are awesome. It has the capability for heated grips, Bluetooth capability. So all that.
Technology's there.
Yeah, pretty cool. So now you guys said, what would you improve, or if it was yours, what would you do? So I don't know that these are so much improvements as much as things that I would do if I was keeping the bike. So the first thing that I would do, and some of you have picked up on this, and this is really, Mike did not have as much trouble with it, right, Michael, as I did with
Nah,
bars.
because I'm longer than you.
So I would say that if I was keeping it, the bars are still not in a good position for me. So I would want,
Which, that's just personal
riser.
preference. Everybody's going to be a little
just the
differently
size,
shaped.
right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
so if I was keeping it, I would put bars on it or a riser on it, because I think that would really help me. And then the last thing is, so if you guys are familiar with Lowrider S's, they also have mid controls, which I actually prefer because I am short. So I'll show you in a second. I'll get on Michael's bike and you'll see what I mean. But forwards are really hard for me to reach. So I like mids, but my mid controls are a little bit more forward than these mids, and I find that to be more comfortable because my knees just are bent for a long time.
And also, to be honest, it's probably because you're used to riding your bike. Maybe.
To
Right?
an extent, but
I mean,
I like sort of in between. I don't want forwards like you, but I like sort of mine are like just
In
a little
between,
bit,
right.
yeah, so
Okay.
that is the other thing. If I was customizing this bike that I would do, I said 2, but I'm going to just say 3. The other thing that I might do, and I will say that I did not realize this, so if you guys are frequent watchers of our channel, you know that Memphis Shades hooked me up with a front, is that even called
a fairing?
a fairing?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's a small.
It's just a small fairing.
So they hooked me up with a front fairing and a tiny little windshield. And I liked it stylistically when I got it, but I wasn't sure that it did much of anything. But then after I rode this, I could feel that there was a difference in wind resistance. So I might, if I was keeping this, put some sort of fairing or windshield or something on it. So those are the things that I would do to customize it for me.
Okay.
But all in all, it's a super fun bike. I would definitely buy it as a second bike because I feel like it's really fun, especially for like short little just hop on and go. It's easy to maneuver and it's really fun. So anyway, that's my take. Do you have anything to add?
Nah, I think you hit it. It's just a fun motorcycle. It stops very well. And
I mean, it probably...
its functionality, it does well.
What about, like, did you feel like it was too small for you?
No, and that's what when I rode the old your 883, I felt like I was cramped on it. This, I didn't feel that way, even with you on the back.
Okay, so...
And I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds.
That's good. It's versatility.
Right. And like I said, I was shocked with you on the back how much power it still had, right?
Yeah.
Which never would have happened on the 883. And I'm not hating on the 883. I'm just saying I think that these newer Sportsters are...
better.
They hit the money on it. I like them a lot.
All right, y'all. Well, that's our 2 cents if you care. And stay tuned because we're going to do a lot of fun things coming up. I mean, the thing I'm most excited for is we're leaving for cross country in a couple months. I cannot wait. And before then, we're doing a lot of other fun things. We'll be at Gettysburg Bike Week for one day on Friday. Sorry, guys. We had some overlapping plans this year. And we're doing our tour next week, our first tour. We're going to take some footage for y'all. So, hope you guys have a fabulous holiday weekend.
All right.
We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.